Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. Good morning, Intrinsic. Good morning, Shay. Good morning, Michelle. Hey, guys. Queen Motivation. Good morning on the West Coast. So today, I'm just gonna talk about passion, right? And passion, pretty much, the meaning of passion is a strong and barely controllable emotion, outburst of strong emotions, or an arousing enthusiasm, right? I don't really like the meaning, of passion because it says barely controllable. So when something is barely controllable, it means that a lot of yeah, I'm in my yard. So bear with me with the nature calls. When something is barely controllable, it means 9 times out of 10 you can't control it, right? That's a lot of things that we have in our lives that we can't really control our emotions sometimes. Sometimes we are emotionally unfit to control certain things, right? But let's just say, for argument's sake, that's right, right? So when you think about passion, right, you're thinking about a strong emotional feeling towards something. But with passion, it's more Scorpio, good morning. But with passion, it's more of the thing that's inside of you. Passion starts within you. It starts in the soul, in the heart, in the mind, right? That is something that God has truly given us, right? If we look down this thing called life, we see a lot of people have passion for certain things, but a lot of the passion is for outwardly things, right? We always have passion for a sporting event. We may have passion for an entertainer or a passion, you know, for something that we we can't really control. What about the passion that is within us? What do we have a passion to do for ourselves? What do we have a passion to strive for in our everyday life? Anti, good morning. Right? So when you think about the passions that you have, right? For some of us, it may be, you know, a passion to make money. Some of us, may have a passion for a higher calling, a passion for Jesus, a passion for Muhammad, Islam, Buddha, one of those things, right? It's a passion. That means something has struck your chords within you to say, you know what? I love this. I love it to the extent that Santina, good morning. I love this thing to a point to where I am going to make this a priority, if not my top priority. We have a passion for our children. That should be our first and foremost passion. But we're not talking about that. We're just talking about for ourselves right now, right? So now it's a barely controllable emotion. I don't we all well so far as just ladies in the chat, so I'm gonna speak to y'all. So we understand that we know it ain't nothing that could stop us from loving our children, right? There's nothing, you know. I am gonna make sure my child is fed. I don't care if I don't have a morsel of food for myself. I am going to make sure that these kids will eat and make sure that they are bathed and all of those things. They come first in a lot of y'all lives. We can agree on that, right? So that's the passion that a lot of people don't have, you know, because they don't understand that passion starts within each and every one of us, right? So now it also says it's an arousing thing, right? So it peaks at a certain when you have that passion, it peaks. It's like the sun. It arises, right? So that's what this passion needs to do for our everyday living. When we go outside, if we're going outside to like I said, go to work, we got to have a passion to make sure that we make our ends meet. if we have a passion of, you know, helping somebody, that I wasn't supposed to speak about that right now. But right. So now, for example, let me just add these three letters to the word passion. COM, right? COM is a prefix meaning with, together, and associate, and with intense force, right? So when you put that COM with passion, it's it gives you the word compassion, right? So what is compassion? Compassion is a simple, they say it's a sympathetic pity and concern for the suffering or the misfortune of others, social feelings to relieve pains for others. Right, realist, good morning. Right, so I'm gonna take that a little bit further, right? When you have compassion for somebody, you are you are willing to put any and everything into that person not feeling in the doldrums, that person not feeling down in the dumps, right? So when these situations happen, right, you have to really understand how much you have in store in your life, right? For example, one day, matter of fact, yesterday, right? Shout out to Intrinsic, right? Intrinsic had an awesome live yesterday. I I think y'all should check her out. If y'all didn't catch the replay, please catch the replay. If y'all not subscribed to her, please subscribe to her, right? So anyway, so she was talking about knowing thyself. And one of the things that we have to know about ourselves is that we have to have that that love, that passion to keep going about our everyday business, right? If we don't even have the passion within us, right? We just we just we might as well let AIs take over our lives. We might as well be dead men walking because we don't have the emotions to say, you know what? I I know I can do things, right? I know I can overcome these things, right? But with passion, you know that it gives you a vision. That passion gives you a vision. It might be blinders for some of us, right? But it gives you a focal point on what we need to go forward in our everyday life, right? If I have the passion to say, you know, it's time to make the donuts, my passion is to make those donuts. If your passion is just come up here and say, you know what, I need to encourage somebody, right? I need to uplift somebody. That is a passion that God has given each and every one of us, right? You know, one thing about Shay Love, right? We understand that her passion of you know following the ways of Christ, being Christ-like, it has given her a renewness, a newness that she has never felt before in her life. That gives her the compassion to allow herself to be used as a living vessel, right? Intrinsic is the same way. She's found her newness and now she has the compassion to come on here despite all the ridicule, all the naysayers, all the hate, all the doubt. It allows her to come up here and say, you know what? I made a mistake. I was wrong in the past and I am here to show you that you can wrong your you can you can you can right your wrongs. There you go. You can right your wrongs. So that's what she, girl dad, how you doing? Good morning. And that's the thing that we have to really understand, that without passion, without the love that God has given each and every one of us, we we're just here. We're 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 not doing anything with ourselves. We you know, every day that we take a breath, we are supposed to have a passion towards something, right? We're supposed to love something so much that that is your focal point of the day. Some of us, our passion is to get through the day. Somebody may say that's a low frequency, but for somebody, they may be struggling just to get through that day. So that passion has to be the end all. It has to be your finish line. Your passion has to be the finish line, right? You can see the finish line, but you got to reach the finish line. And that's something that we all have to, you know, continue to work on, continue to understand, continue to build, right? Sometimes we gotta water the seed of passion, right? And we have to do it. Some people may say with blood, sweat, and tears. I'm gonna just say tears because water is the foundation of life, right? Without water, we can't go a certain amount of days, right? But when we have that passion to go forward, that water can illuminate us into a different atmosphere, a stratosphere. It'll take us higher and higher. But because of the passion that we have, there's a lot of people on here that are in the doldrums. There are a lot of people here because they may not understand that or believe that their words are not being received. Their passion, their love is not being received because we see that stagnation of reception can block your passions, right? We have to continue to go forward one day at a time, one step at a time. We got to strive for the reason of for the passionate people. We have to continue to strive because at the end of the day we still see the finish line. We are at the race, right? We understand that the race is never given to the swift nor the strong, but to those who endure to the end. So we have to endure certain things. Will there be trials while the passion happens? Of course there will. Will there be temptations? Of course they will. If you ain't doing nothing right, if you doing the right thing, people will talk about you. If you doing things out of passion and love, there will be haters. We have to understand that. But going forward, we cannot let the hate be the blocking of our passion, right? So now as we gain our passion, we strengthen it, we gather it, we pull it all together, right? And then we add this COM to it. Now we can say, you know what? Let's It's so much passion that is being built in you, and you are now controlling it, that the compassion pours out of you. It pours out of each and every one of us that are here right now. How do we know that? Because we can stop, we can see that homeless person, and hey, do you need anything? Would you like me to pray for you? Would you like me to uplift you? What can I do to make your day a better day? I may not be able to put you in a home, but the simple fact of your voice will show that compassion to that other person. They can see how much passion you have to be compassionate. I hope it is making sense for you guys, right? Because if you don't have that passion, compassion cannot be within you. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love somebody else if you don't have that love of self, right? I can't love you better than you love yourself. I can't be happier for you than you are for yourself. It's not a wasted emotion. It's just a simple fact that you will not be able to receive it because you don't know what that is. If you have never been loved before, you won't know what it is. It's just like if you never had, since Santina's here, since if you never had fish before in your life, you can't know what it tastes like. If you never had soul food, you don't know how much that can touch your soul. So because you may not know what it is, you can't receive it. And if you already don't have it, how can you give something that you don't have? A lot of us have been so passionate that we are running on fumes. It's sad, but it's true. Because we are so passionate of wanting to be our better selves, and we become so compassionate that we are ready to pour unto others, that we forgot to refill ourselves. And if we don't refill ourselves, we're on fumes. You know, an engine will go put put put. It'll choke, it'll seize, it'll stop right in the middle of movement because it doesn't have nothing to have the strength. It don't have the oil to continue to go on. We have to understand that this emotion of passion, it needs to be controlled, but more importantly, it needs to be refueled. It needs to be ignited. But you got to have an understanding of what ignites your passion. And it's one word: love. A lot of us don't understand how much love can get us through a situation. I understand people say love is blind. You can't see it. It got blinders on. This, that, and the third. But what you can do is love somebody enough to allow them to see that love is possible. Meek, good morning. You got to understand, because that love has been ignited, that your passion could be superseded into compassion. At the end of the day, nothing can be possible without love. You know, if you really look at the Bible says, so God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten. You can't sacrifice without love. With passion, you have to understand that you are going to give something up to gain that ignition of passion. You got to understand that something will be lost. It may be a friend, it may be a lover, it may be a job, it may be whatever it is. But at the end of the day, a sacrifice is needed in order to uplift the passions in your life. If we understand the story of Christ, the passion of Christ, they made a movie about it. It's the simple thing that he sacrificed his life, not becoming a martyr, but he sacrificed his life so other people can understand that there is something worth living. There is a passion that he gave so everybody can see that love can get you over a hump, right? Understanding that the love that God had for us, he has given us, and we have to use it in the passions of our everyday walk. So as you go about your everyday walk with your passion, you will understand that once that thing is controlled, because an emotion, sometimes we can't control our emotions. Sometimes we have to understand that, hey, we got to reel it in. That's what they tell us. Reel your emotions in. Stop just going out there and doing things because you love a person. Understand, we're not here to enable. We're not here to disable either. We are here to uplift somebody. If somebody needs a ear, the compassionate side of you, because you have controlled your passion, says, take this ear. Talk. Speak your piece. Understand that I am compassionate enough for you to have the time to sit there and have this conversation with you. This is not an easy thing for us to do, right? A lot of people may get nervous because they are speaking on a platform like this, but your passion has focused that fear and locked it up, because the passion has allowed you to understand that this word has to get out there. You understand that your passion may be reached, it may be met by somebody with understanding that I have this inside of me too. And that's why we do these things every day. Because every day that we do this, we know that someone, one person, will receive what we have in store. That's what Christ would do. When you have that Christ-like energy, you don't go around and just walk and talk. No, you understand that somebody out here is going to receive the passion that he has for each and every one of us. It may not be received. We know that, you know, we may not be received by our own. Our family may look at us like we're crazy, like we're running around like a chicken with his head cut off. No, but when you have that Christ-like love, that Christ-like passion, it allows you to bypass everything. It'll take the speckles out of your eye. It'll allow you to see things in a different perspective, because your passion allows you to view things that other things will not make you, allow you to see it, right? So when you have the compassion to reach out to somebody, right? Young Riaz, how you doing? Right? Like when I look at young Riaz, I'm gonna use young Riaz for an example, right? I believe young Riaz is the youngest one here in the chat right now, right? Young Riaz has a passion to be a person who wants to help somebody, whether it's through his music, whether it's through his conversations, whether it's just to sit here and listen to somebody talk about whatever they're talking about. That's something that God has given him. The passion of understanding that, yo, I want you to know that I love you from afar, whether it's through YouTube, whether it's from another country because he's in another country. I received that because it's genuine. One thing about passion, if it ain't nothing else, it's genuine. When you have compassion for somebody, they need to understand that your passion is genuine towards them. That's why compassion is a necessity in everyday life. It's not a want, we need that because somebody is down in the doldrums, like I said earlier, and somebody needs to be picked up. If you don't have that hand, let them use your arm. Pull yourself up. If you got to use your shoulder, pull yourself up. We all understand that help comes from above. Look to the hills from where that help may come from, right? It just means, listen, pick your head up. The passion of love and life will allow you to lift yourself up. Look up. It's coming for your help. You got to be able to receive that passion is a necessity in your everyday life. Love yourself enough to know that this too shall pass. No, you got to understand that, yo, no weapon formed against us can prosper because the passion that God has given each and every one that is instilled in us will not allow us to keep us on the ground. We may be wounded, but that passion will make sure that you get healed because you want to see the finish line of how far passion can get you. But when you put the COM in there, you want others to win too. I want each and everybody here to win every day that they open up their eyes. I understand that we are at war with principalities and rulers of the world. We can't control what other people do, but what we can control is the battle that's within us. We need to have the passion to understand, like, yo, we understand that you are trying to take our joy away from us, but my passion will overcome that. You are trying to take my happiness away, but my passion will overcome that, right? Passion begins with you. Everybody here, passion begins with you. My 33 brother, good morning. How it do? What up, though? Right? The passion that is within you has to be stirred up. That's why they always tell you, stir up your gifts. Passion is an emotion, but it is also a gift. And a lot of us don't understand that the gifts that we have, we don't use it in the right form or matter, right? Some people have passion to be idiots. Some people have passions to be a-holes. And we see it on the other side of this of the streets of YouTube. Because all they love is chaos. They are passionate about chaos. I'm not talking to them people because they're not helping nobody but themselves, right? That's the passion that we don't want. We need the passion within ourselves to understand that, hey, I could be a help. If I'm a hindrance, I'm gonna fall back because that's not what passion is running in my blood, in my veins, in my mind, in my soul, in my heart. I want to help somebody. I don't want to hinder people, right? If I'm talking to my 33 brother says, yo, I'm down. Hey, brother, want to talk about it? And the funny thing about that passion will not be received by the world. They might say we have tendencies. How do I say this without being rude? I have happy tendencies with the 3-letter words. That's not about that. I want to see that man happy. I want to see that man be uplifted. He gives so much to so many. He feels down in the doldrums. I have no choice but to show him compassion. With compassion comes grace. And with grace comes mercy. And with mercy comes love. Abundance of it. And if you don't start none of that with passion, ain't none of it going to be included. Ain't none of it going to work. We can't keep pouring on to people that not going to be receptive. That's why people have a problem with meeting people where they are. I don't have that problem because I'm one of them people that say, you know what? Something is going to penetrate that thick wall. I don't care if it's like the walls of Jericho. That came down too. With the passion of their love of God, they circled that wall, and in 7 days it came down. Why that can't happen in our everyday life? Somebody hurt us so bad that we can't even receive passion of love. But guess what? When that right love comes, when that passionate love comes to you, when that compassionate love comes to you, it ain't gonna do nothing but remove bricks, one brick at a time. That wall gonna be broken. The foundation of that wall is no longer going to exist. And when it crumbles, they're going to receive a love that they never got before. It's going to be a beacon of, it's going to be an illumination on their mind, body, and soul that they thought would never come to them. All because the passion of that person that gave it to them never gave up on them. With passion, it doesn't give up. With the energy of love and passion, you will overcome these things. It may take a while. It does not mean that the enemy will not put up a fight for you, right? But guess what? That season of losing will be over because your passion will make you the winner. Like I said, the race is never given to the swift nor the strong. If it was given to the swift, the rabbit would have won the race, right? But we know that the tortoise beats the hare in the story. Why? We cannot be arrogant. When you're arrogant, that's not passion. Your passion will be corrupt. You cannot have that. You cannot allow that to occur in your life. If you are doing things for the right reasons, the road will be made straight for you. The road won't be crooked. It may have forks in the road, but it won't be crooked. If that makes any sense to you, right? But what we do know, there may be a detour, but we're going to get to the finish line with the passion of completing what we have in front of us, with the compassion that we need to finish this thing because someone is looking to us for help, right? We ain't God, we ain't claiming to be God, but we understand that God can use us in our compassionate states. And all we have to do is receive the help that is coming forth in our everyday life, right? You know, I am so proud of so many people, right? I am so proud of Intrinsic, right? Because Intrinsic could say, yo, I could continue to be me. Let me tell y'all real quick what happened yesterday in her live. I want y'all to watch the live so y'all can view it yourselves. But I'm just gonna sum it up, right? So at the end of her live, somebody comes in and wants to blocks the light, right? And she said, you know what? Let me show you how much passion I have gained from leaving the other side of town. I want y'all to love on this person. And everybody was like, oh, hey, we can get rid of her if you want. No, just love on her. Sometimes you got to love on somebody just so the hate could be gone and the passion could be received in their life. I was so happy. I was so proud of. Besides the, you know what, Intrinsic, I still need that clip of. I need that 5-minute clip. I need you to clip that whole commercial break. I'm telling you, that thing will move somebody. When I tell you it'll move somebody, it'll move somebody. Michelle says, ego and arrogance are the killers of blessings. Humility, compassion, and love opens the door to the promise over our lives and the blessings of abundance. All praises to the Most High. That was that. That is so awesome right there, right? It was a master class of class. But that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you don't have to, go tick the tack. Eye for an eye. Sometimes, you know what? The Bible says to be humble, it's like heaping coals over somebody's head. In other words, if you do things nice, it'll make them mad because they can't receive what they can't comprehend what's going on. And it'll humble them to fall back. And sometimes that's what we need to do. But you can only do that with the understanding of passion and how much that passion can be controlled. I'm not going with this meaning of passion. barely controllable. That's for those people that are emotionally unstable, that can't control their emotions. That's why we have to examine ourselves each and every day, because we need to understand, in order to go forward, we must master some. Not, you can't say master, because, well, you can say master because sometimes you can lose the battle. There's no perfection. There's no perfect thing in the world. It doesn't mean that we don't strive for it, right? But in saying that, we have to understand, and if you master your emotions, right, it'll allow it to illuminate. It'll allow it to pour up out of you and become a blessing to somebody else, i.e., compassionate. That's how this thing works. But the one thing we got to understand, you cannot have compassion without passion. It cannot happen. You cannot love somebody without love. You cannot have peace without peace. You cannot be peaceful without peace. We have to understand that if you we are prefixes of life. Passion has allowed us to become a prefix, like COM. We are now prefixes in somebody else's walk in life. Hey, I understood what you said, brother. I understood what you said, sister. Let me apply it to my life and see if it works for me. And when it works, I don't want the credit. There's no need for nobody to take credit, because at the end of the day, we are doing what we're supposed to do in life. We, whether we understand it or not, we are an example to somebody. When we push live and talk, we are more than content creators. We are influencers in life, and a lot of the times we are influencers because we are passionate about what we are doing, and when we push go live and have these conversations. Selena, good morning. And at the end of the day, when you understand that you are more than an influencer, I mean, you are more than a content creator, you have to understand that passion alone will make your content your character, or it should. Because I, I'm going to speak for me, right? I know people are running around saying, you know what? I'm doing this for the tool. I'm doing it. What was the old saying before? Do it for the vine, right? I'm doing this because this is me. I want this to be the example that I am who I say I am. That's the affirmation. Shout out to Intrinsic. I am who I say I am. If I am up here trying to be encouraging, I am trying to do that in everyday life. I'm not here just doing this for, listen, nobody could ever say that we're doing this for clicks and likes, right? Because a lot of our numbers are not increasing, but let me say it like this. It's increasing, but it ain't increasing like the bull crap that's going on the other side. You understand? And that's because I'm not worried about how many people get it. I just want people to get the encouragement, receive the passion that is being spewed while I'm making this live right now. It's not about if 30,000 people see it. If there's one of you right now that understands what I'm saying and apply it to their life and it works for them, I'm content. I am satisfied. I know in my heart I will receive a word that's going to say, well done, faithful servant. Because it's not about how many you win, it's, are you going to win? Are you going to increase? Are you going to encourage? Are you going to uplift? Are you going to be received? We don't know. But what we do know is the passion that God has given us has allowed us to go on and do the things that we need to do in order for anything to be received. If we don't have that understanding, why are we here? I've seen growth in so many people. Anti, you know I love bothering you, but I tell Anti all the time, your passion of increasing has grown so much, you're gonna have to take Anti out of your name. How do I know that? Because I see the growth. I see the passion that she has of breaking the shackles of her not being so shy anymore. That's just a fact. Meek, you I would rather y'all have y'all own testimonies, but y'all understand what I'm saying. At the end of the day, your passion is gonna get you through to a thing. It ain't up to me to decide who receives it or not. If I put something on the table and they take it, God bless you. May it be received, may it be applied, may it be used. That's the passion that I have. My passion is for y'all to win. Emotionally and mentally first. Because after that, then the physical victory will come in hand. You understand? And I'm trying to tell you that passion will put everything together. We all know that how I talk about the Trinity, right? I'm not talking about the Father, Son, Holy Ghost. I'm talking about the Trinity in our everyday life, the mind, body, and soul. The passion can align those three together and allow you to receive that strength to become the compassionate person that will reach somebody down the line. Do you want it? How bad do you want it? We know we done things before. We had the wrong passion for the wrong things. We had the wrong passion for that man that ended up being no good. We had that passion for that woman that wasn't no good. We had that passion to go get that bottle that took us out. He had passion for all the wrong reasons. Now let's use the passion in this proper form. Let's use it to increase ourselves to a higher level. And when we get to the higher level, we understand that people are going to receive it because the compassion is going to pour onto somebody else. It sounds hard, right? It sounds like it's impossible. What I come to find out is that there's nothing impossible for your passions. If you know that the strength of love can conquer all things, because that's what the Bible says, love conquers all. So if that's what it can do, it can conquer within you first. It can make you the person that you can be, the strongest person today. And we just got to keep applying it. We got to keep restoring it. We got to keep using it every day. It's in your storehouses, everybody. You have that passion of something in your life. Go inside your storehouse and find it. If you buried it too far, it's time to clean the storehouse out. But you know why it's in the storehouse? Because somebody's going to need it. That's what a storehouse is for. We're storing it for somebody that's in need of it. And somebody needs our compassion. But you need your passion first. You cannot have compassion without passion. You cannot be a blessing if you're not blessed. You see how everything works together? You need the prefix. You can't have one without the other. You can't compound something without the first ingredient. So the passion must lie inside of you to be compassionate. The love must be inside of you in order to love somebody else. It cannot be outside in. Everything in your life starts within you, inside out. This is why I tell people your preferences of another person should be on the inside out. It shouldn't be, he's 6'5" with muscles, or she's 5 feet with curves. It shouldn't be like that. It should be the opposite way. Because if it's inside of you, we know it could come out of you, right? It's like I told you on the last live. It's like a tree. If you understand that the tree grows up as it do down, you know that the root is going to make sure that it ain't going nowhere. It's going to take a hell of a storm for that tree to come down. And that won't happen for at least maybe, if it's rooted correctly, a century or two. But once you understand that it's within you and it gotta come from underground and out, that's how life is. We were born in darkness, But when we're born, we come into what? Light. And so too, that's the same thing with passion and compassion. You got to understand that with all that darkness, that passion will illuminate and outgrow everything and then allow you to be compassionate. And that's what we have to take from this thing. Let me read some of these comments because I was just going and I apologize, y'all. And that's the thing about passion. The passion that you got to get it out before it gets distracted. You got to use it before it gets blocked. You know, do, do it while it's what they say, strike the fire while it's hot. Strike the iron while it's hot. That's how you got to use everything you have. Strike it while it's hot, because when it get cold, it may take a long time to reheat that thing. And that's why a lot of us are going through the doldrums. I'm burnt out. I'm ready to tap out. I'm ready to quit. Why? Because we feel like it's not being used right, one. And if we're doing what we're doing, we feel like it may not be received by somebody, right? Because we understand the ways of the world. That's why I tell you not to be confined by the world. You got to be in it, but don't be confined of the world, because everybody else that's doing it, they get the lucky breaks. How many times we said, yo, man, if I had the $1 million, man, if I had that money, I'll do this, this, and this. Because somebody else that got those quote unquote riches ain't using it right. But guess what you got? You got abundance. And with that abundance comes passion. You got an abundance of passion. And when you have enough to give to somebody else, it'll allow you to give yourself away at the same time. That's why compassion works for other people. But you got to have the passion to say, let me be used in whatever form I can be used. I'm telling y'all, I understand that somebody's down in the doldrums right now. You feel like your passion ain't being fueled right now. Don't give up. If you got to take a step back, take a step back. If you got to close your mind for a little bit, close your mind. I had to do that. I was feeling so down in the dumps over the weekend. Man, let me tell you something. My mind was racing so much, I had to read the Book of Enoch just to calm myself down. Why the Book of Enoch? Because that's a topic that some people I needed to understand better. And while I'm understanding, it allowed my mind to be calm. Anything with information will calm me down. Why? Because I know that it could fuel my passion for me to give it to somebody else. I could use my wisdom to give it to somebody else. God has given me wisdom to share it, not to withhold it from. What good is all of that if you take it to the grave? You can't take nothing with you to the grave. That's like a rich person saying, I want all this money, put the money in my casket. For what? You can't use it when you're gone. You can't use the passion if you're gone. This is why everybody needs to receive their flowers today. This is why people need to have the passion to encourage and give today. Because if tomorrow is not promised, you're going to take it with you wherever you go. And that's what we have to understand. This passion is for the here and the now. Leave it for somebody to receive it. Leave it for somebody to say, you know what, somebody gave two hoots about me to encourage me in spite of me not knowing them. We may have never met each other face to face, right? To be honest, the only one I've ever seen out of everybody here is Nichelle. And that's because we're related. And the funny part about that is I had to discover her through another route. We're cousins for real in real life, but we never met until we took the initiative to take the steps forward. And now we are here today with understanding of how much she loves me and I love her. But even with that, she understands my passion for her is pure, unadulterated love. It ain't to gain nothing from her. It ain't to take nothing from her. It's just for her to succeed. And that's what I want for each and everybody here, right? Whether I seen you in person or not, the fact that I'm doing that is pure, genuine authenticity, right? And Trizzy used the word to synchronize. If we always to synchronize ourselves, with the same attributes and attitudes, what word would say? The community, no, excuse me, I'm lying. My bad word. The tribe will be a better tribe. Our defenses will be up against any attack. They may break down a certain part, but we all got each other's back because we have that passion to be compassionate for anybody that has to go on going forward. Scorpio Mama, thank you for coming in. Continue to be a blessing. And let's get through this day with the passion that God has given you. Right? And those are the things, right? Stop laughing, word. That ain't funny. But that's what we need to do, right? We have to understand that everything is in us. We have it already. We just have to use it. We have to apply it. If we don't apply it, it's going to get dusty and won't be used anymore. All right, let me get to these comments. I am compassionate by nature and empathy because I never had that as a child. Love, compassion. People ask me why all the time. My response, the Most High was compassionate towards us by sending his son. Our Savior Christ was compassionate towards us by sacrificing his life to save us. Who am I to not show compassion, love, and grace when I undeservingly receive it every day? And that's the Christ-like love that I continuously talk about, right? When you sacrifice your passion, right? When you sacrifice anything that you have, that makes you a compassionate person. That love, that agape love that they talking about is compassion. If you understand what that really means, this ain't gonna bother you one bit. The only thing that's gonna stop you is the fact that, you know, the doubts of things not being received. Doubt is always gonna cloud your judgment. Doubt is always gonna stop your blessings. But the passion of it will overcome it. We just got to make sure that that is ignited, right? It's like the old locomotive trains. If you ain't feeding it no coal, that train ain't gonna move. It's not gonna move nothing. If the old sailboats, right? If that wind ain't blowing, you just stuck out in the ocean. But guess what? Nobody's an island. We can't do this. We don't have to do this by ourselves. We can do this by by each one teach one, by being receptive of the compassion that's being given out to each and every one of us. And if we can do that, we can overcome a whole bunch of things. The problem is we have to stop being afraid that something's going to be used against us. If my passion gets used against me, guess what? You got it. I'm going to fall back from you. But guess what you ain't going to get? You ain't going to get that compassion inside of me no more. We're not here to abuse our privileges. We are here to use them and for somebody to receive the compassion, like she just said, that was given unto us in the early stages of our lives. A lot of us could have been cast away. A lot of us could have been, pushed into the wayside. A lot of us may have been given up on somewhere down the road in our lives. My story is my parents died when I was young. I had to find the passion from somebody that was so wise and never stopped showing love. My grandmother. And that's what a lot of us is losing. We got to understand that it's still within us. It may not be being used properly, but it's still within us. You got to seek it, use it, bring it forth, and allow it to be received. You understand what I'm saying? So we got some work to do, guys. And we understand. I get it. I totally get it. I understand that we may not be doing it in the right shape, form, or format. I understand that people may not be receiving it, but I'm not giving up. Just imagine if somebody gave up on us. If that passion was gone and somebody said, I can't deal with you no more. That's a thing that a lot of people can't recover from. And that's like passion is an emotion, hurt is an emotion too. But we gotta let that positive passion overcome the negative hurts that we are being inflicted on in our everyday life. We have to do that, guys. We really do. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Meek, I'm glad you came by. Santina, I'm glad you came by. yeah, if you guys got any questions, just type them up. If y'all got any comments, that's cool too. You know what I mean? But I just felt like I had to get that out. You know what I mean? Because I know there's a lot of doom and gloom running around in our everyday lives, and it's not just you know an afterthought, but it's present right now. I am here to tell you that I whatever I can do to help you, whatever I can do to keep you going, I am here for it. If you don't understand if it's genuine or not, I understand that too. But we're gonna have to break that cycle. We have to understand that compassion is a necessity in our life. We have to understand that. I know we've been hurt. I know we've been tarnished. I know we've been emotionally abused by friends. Uh, but in order for us to go forward, right, we need to share these things. But like I told you, if you got to find your passion, find it. And I'm going to end it by saying it just like I said earlier. You cannot have compassion without passion. It's impossible to have that. So with that being said, Tay, how you doing, Tay? With that being said, you know what I mean? I'm praying that you guys find the passion within you to keep going forward. I know there's some struggles in our lives, but our passions can overcome it, right? You know, it's a lot of work that needs to be done. We can do it. You just gotta have the passion to do it. The passion will overcome. It's okay, Tay. But I'm just telling people that, we gotta find the passion to go forward in life, right? You know what I mean? And in your case, I need you to close your eyes and think about how much passion that somebody had for you, and what would they want you to do at this particular time? Would they want you to lose your passion, or to inflame it, and to keep going forward? Those are the things that we got to do, right? We gotta understand that we have to continue to feed the passion. The same way we would feed our lust, the same way we would feed our egos, we got to feed our passions. We got to feed our love. We got to feed our encouragements. We got to feed everything. Man cannot live by bread alone, but by every word of God. God has given us words to use to increase or enlarge these passions, the territories in our storehouses. We have to put it and activate it and use it going forward. Riaz, it's okay. Sometimes you got to be selfish with yourself. Sometimes the passion will allow you to be selfish with yourself. Yo, listen, I need you to feed this passion and this passion alone. Sometimes I need you to feed this hurt so it can shut the hell up and we can go back to loving once again. We need to do these things in order to go forward. But you got to have an understanding of how passion works in your life. Don't use the passion for the negative things. Use it for the right things. When you do that, I promise you, compassion will come out of you and be poured within you at the same time. Y'all think about that as I end this live. When you use your passion, the compassion will come out of you and be poured into you. It will be reciprocated into your life. And at the end of the day, when y'all meditate on that and when y'all think about that, you're going to say that 1 + 1 is 2. And for my inside joke, 3² is 9. Y'all take that, y'all meditate on that. And with that being said, I'm out. Y'all have a good one, everybody.